Mark out Mania. Mark out Mania. It's Saturday morning and we're marking out on Mark out Mania.
Yeah.
Hola, amigos.
What is up, everybody? What's up, boys? How the hell are you?
Great. ¿Qué pasó?
Everyone ready to mark out Mania?
We are ready to mark out on Lucha Underground this past week's episode, and of course, the Four Horsemen. Yes, we are definitely ready to mark out. I know I am.
I am marking it, and I'm pre-marking out for next week too, but we won't get into that until the very end.
Easy, killer, easy. I got my Saturday morning Modelo, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Oh yeah, Modelo.
Yep.
Breakfast
The official beer sponsor of Mark Out Mania.
The official beer sponsor, or the unofficial official beer sponsor. Yes. What was that? Breakfast of Champions. First things first, obey your thirst. Here on Mark Out Mania.
Yeah, I'm like, in small text, not an official sponsor. Please do not sue us for defamation.
I only drink Modelo in days that end in Y. That's it. Okay? All good. Okay.
I thought, once again, we're on track, and it's scary to think that we're about a quarter of the way through the season now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting good. It's really getting good. It's really getting good. All right, so boys, what'd you think of LU?
Another great episode, definitely. Another A.
Desmond X. I like that.
Yeah, he just kind of popped. They hid that one pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, he was what? He was in the X division on Impact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Impact.
But he and it was a good match.
Yeah, Paul London looked especially creepy in all black
with
the clean-shaven face.
Yeah.
Mala Suerte and Saltador had a different kind of attitude, but I'm still glad
they were still doing their thing in the ring, though. Actually, which is it was very cool. It was very cool.
But that's definitely the Rabbit Tribe is definitely evolving and becoming more of its kind of maybe its true self.
Yeah, I could maybe, but we have to see. Yeah, I was surprised that Desmond X went over.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, after this big angle, the whole thing with the actual whole thing with the Rabbit Tribe, and here comes the White Rabbit, Mr. Cross, and then here comes Paul London going to the ring in all black, and he gets pinned. I'm like, what? Wait, what happened? But Lucha Underground knows what it's doing, so.
Yeah, that was different. Once again, we're not used to seeing, new talent come in and win their opener.
Right.
But
especially after somebody getting a big push in the vignettes,
Yeah. So I mean, so he's in the Gift of the Gods match. So
yes, he is. Because I actually thought it was a very good match overall. I thought him and London had real good chemistry. I thought the crowd was into it too. All the believers were all hyped up. It was good. It was good.
Did you notice that the two, I can't remember, the Saltador and who's the other one?
Mala Suerte.
Yeah, that they were seemed scared of Paul London.
Yes,
they
were they were shaking.
They were cowering a little bit. Yeah.
Yes,
definitely cowering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they don't want to get their head cracked open with a cane.
No.
Because they definitely understand that Paul London's crazy.
I thought Mr. Cross was going to come into the ring and do a running after London got pinned. Because that's what I was expecting. I said, "Uh-oh."
I was a little bit, but I think he's trying to let his words enforce his will because there is this, this crazy element of, that fine line between insanity and genius.
That is
And
true.
we all know that Killer Cross is an extremely smart guy.
Yes.
And so, as the White Rabbit, his moves are calculated. And even losing this match may have been part of his plan, because we didn't see him tell Paul to go win this match. We don't know if he's concerned with the Gift of the Gods title. We don't know if he's concerned with anything
That is true. That is true.
pertains to titles yet.
That is true.
He may also want the trios titles. We don't know. So,
that would be awesome to
it's a
put the
definite
trio
wait and see.
title on the Rabbit Tribe. That would be awesome.
What's that?
That would be awesome to put the trio's title on the Rabbit Tribe.
I think so too, because they have such interesting triple team moves and just interesting action. Something that I've always wanted to see in trios and 6-man matches is more things like that, and I've wanted to see that forever. Because
I do get the whole thing with Mac and with Killshot. Okay, but I would love to see the Rabbit Tribe. Oh,
yeah, because they're a great unit.
Yeah,
and they have that fluidity. And see, because my thing is, like, if you look at the rules of tag team wrestling, okay, when you tag in, you've got to count to 5, right? To do a double team maneuver or whatever, But if I'm in the ring, okay, and I tag in you, James, I got 5 seconds to work with you. But you get in the ring and you tag in Pedro. We all have 4 legal seconds to do a triple team move before we get warned by the referee.
Or a minute and a half if you're Tommy Young, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is there's definitely a lot of great potential with Rabbit Tribe.
No, absolutely. And and everybody loves the Rabbit Tribe. Everybody loves them. Everybody. So
I think they're kind of scaring people now, though. What do you think, Pedro?
I do think they'd be great as trios champions, mostly because it's better when you have actual units, as you were alluding to, like holding the belt than kind of throwing people together. Are people scared of them? Probably. I mean, we're getting scared of Paul London a bit, I think. I mean, he killed Masquerita.
See ya. Bye.
Poor little feller.
Little feller.
He got salsa all over Paul London.
Oh.
That's what it looked like. It did. It did. I was like, look at that. Paul London's taking a salsa shot. It was good. It was
sip of Modelo for salsa Masquerita.
Yep, a sip of the Modelo.
I make great salsa, but mine's chunky, not
Masquerita
has to
salsa.
Be chunky. No.
Well, now I do.
Masquerita salsa. No, that's hot. Good job.
Salsa con carne.
Yeah, con carne. There we go.
Salsa Rita.
Salsa Rita.
Oh my god.
Woo, but I would like to see Killer Cross actually bring the tribe together. If it's going into a darker direction, then great. But I mean, as long as they still keep their core moves and they still act a little crazy, but like on the darker side, I have no problem with the storyline. I think it's going to be huge. I believe the whole thing with the White Rabbit influence is going to be used. I just can't wait to see Cross get mixed up into this whole thing, and it's going to be great. I can't wait.
I tweeted some stuff last week about that. About that fine line, between genius and insanity and the rabbit hole and everything. And like Paul London was like tagging Cross to see what I tweeted out.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
He's like, Junior, check this out.
Yeah,
but then we got then we had Worldwide Underground, and getting ready to do battle with the Serpent Tribe again.
Now, I'm going to say this. I thought the match was amazing between Johnny Mundo and Vibra. I thought the first 3 minutes of the match needed some serious work. They were feeling out each other. It looked like Vibra was very hesitant. It looked like a couple of missed spots here and there, but after it got going, it really picked up good. But
I think so too.
I would definitely like to see, let's see more Bieber in the ring.
Well, there was a whole lot of Bieber in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was moving around like he was a cruiserweight. But at first, he was very hesitant with Mundo, and I was like, all right, okay, But it picked up quickly. It was a good
that springboard choke slam thing was really good.
I'm going to take a lot of heat for this. But I think the best part of Lucha Underground last week was the whole EXO vignette. That was the best thing about that episode. That Flashdance homage was amazing. That killed it right there. It killed it. It was the best thing about the entire episode. And then the little creepy doll. Oh, awesome. I loved it.
And Jack Evans. Jack Evans obsessing.
Yep.
I want to go back to the match.
Go ahead.
I really, 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 really loved the match. I really enjoyed it a lot between Vibra and Johnny Mundo. This was a match.
You didn't think it started off slow?
I was into it from the start. I can be kind of a mark, I guess. But I haven't rewatched it, so I need to rewatch. But this was a match that I felt benefited from shenanigans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like all the shenanigans, like really added to the match.
All of us were waiting for everybody to get involved. All of us wanted to see Cobra Moon. All of us wanted to see 68 Elvis special. Here comes Daga.
Yeah.
All of us wanted to see Taya. All right. All of us wanted to see JP. Everybody wanted to see everybody get involved.
And it was. I was just marking out a lot for it.
That's why the match got very entertaining, and it was very good. It was very good. All believers were into it too. Everybody,
Taya flipping off Cobra Moon was funny.
That was awesome. Yeah. That was awesome.
She is. I'm not saying she's. I mean, she's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's a big girl.
So much taller than tall. When she spears Cobra Moon. She looks like they're in different, in much different weight classes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It was a great sell by Cobra Moon too. She laid out like, "Wow, done. I'm done." She was like, "I'm done. That's it."
Cobra Moon kind of ate a lot of stuff. She ate that dive by Mundo when Mundo was on the top and Vibra was standing there and he's thinking about what to do and he's like, "I'll just kill Cobra Moon." And,
that was so smooth. I mean, you didn't even see it coming. It was almost just like, "Oh, you see me up here on the top? Oh, excuse me for just 1 second."
They all work so well together. Hence why I gotta see Taya versus Cobra Moon. No Moss match. I want that match to go 30 minutes long. I want them to fight all over the temple. I want Mass to get ripped. I want Taya's suit to get ripped. I want to see blood. I want to see chairs. I want to see barbed wire. I want to see all kinds of shit between those two.
Oh my God!
That's what get me hyped up. You know, I want to see, I want to see everybody interfere. I want to see everybody get their ass kicked, and then at the end, it's Ty and Cobra Moon going at it back in the ring.
Oh my God! That
The
sounds
whole
great.
30-minute match, unedited, no bullshit, and just let them go.
Well, I don't know. Editing is pretty important occasionally.
I know, but you know, I'm just
Because, you
marking
know,
off for it real quick.
Vampiro said that his match with Pentagon at Ultima Lucha was like, 16 minutes edited of him falling down and, getting back up slowly.
Yeah.
So, the
I would love to see
16-minute
that
match
match
that's on
live.
YouTube and was shown on the broadcast is probably a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, but I would love to see a good no mas match. I mean, like anything goes between those two. You know.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's something. Hopefully, Ultima Lucha 4.
You know.
Pardon
Yeah.
me while I crack open a Modelo here.
What?
Oh, now you're making sense, big guy.
Nice.
Now you're making sense.
Nice. Okay.
There you go, Papa Cueto. Do you hear that, Papa Cueto?
That's right.
That pop top was for you, Papa. There you go.
We aim to please El Jefe.
Absolutely. Every week.
So now on that Sonny XO, Jack Evans, Ricky Mandel, the creepy doll.
That was the best thing about the entire Lucha Underground episode last week. That vignette.
You know what?
That had me on the floor. I was like, yes, they're using XO perfectly.
I want to point out something. I'm not sure they've done this before, but I want to point out, like, when XO's doing the aerobics thing, and then they do the flash dance thing, but then we go and we see that it's just them drinking a little drop of water, and you're like, is this the first time we've seen inside the mind of one of the characters in Lucha Underground?
I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
It seems that way.
I mean,
that wasn't reality. That was like in their head. So
I mean, I was singing "Maniac" in my head. She's a maniac. So it's possible, because it was inside my head. So I mean, I was going nuts. But I thought it was an excellent vignette. I thought it was well done. And you know what? I'm gonna start marking off for that creepy doll.
Oh my God!
That doll was awesome.
You might have to do to Jack what you did to Angelica.
Yeah, that was. Hold on. I hope YYAH is watching.
Yeah. Shout out to YYAH.
She's there, and I'm sure she's no fan of that doll either.
No, she's like, no.
More evidence that Angelico has met a horrible end in the Lucha Underground universe.
Yeah, they totally keep referencing it too. So. But yeah.
Oh, that's a good theory. Iki-kun just says that creepy doll could be a live luchadora.
It could be. That's a very good point. Yeah. Yep. It could be the spirit. Yeah. Who knows? Anything's possible with LU. That's why it's so awesome.
Oh, yeah. This just hitting me now. What if the doll is containing one of the gods? What if it's kind of containing like a vessel at the moment?
That's a good point too. Anything's possible.
A god or goddess.
Oh, I know. Somebody's got to come up. Somebody's got to come up with the natural name for this doll.
That might be giving it
away, right? Yeah.
Too much away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if the payoff for that's going to be this season or not.
I mean, it would be cool to have a steel cage match between that doll and the doll from Chucky.
I don't think. I think Chucky would be like, "Nah, man, I'm out."
Yeah, he's out. He's done with this. Yeah.
No,
give me the Jennifer Tilly doll. I'm out of here.
I'm retired. The
doll.
I did my thing in WCW. That was it.
The doll that you need for that match is that one from the Trilogy of Terror.
Yes, there you go. Oh, you know what? I shit my pants the first time I saw that little doll. Okay, that scared the hell out of me.
It was so scary as a little kid.
That doll,
Karen
That
Black
doll
being,
and yeah, and the ugly face that Karen Black was making with the whole knife. That thing
Oh, yeah,
scared
at
the
the
crap
end.
out of me, man. Yeah, at the end. Oh my god, that was
when I was
brutal.
a
It gave me
kid,
nightmares.
when I was a kid, I didn't get that last scene. So
Yeah,
like when you're older, you're like, oh, she's possessed.
yeah,
Oh,
that was brutal,
sorry for
man.
the spoilers.
Yeah, yeah, you know, it's only a 40-year-old movie, you know.
The trilogy of terror. God, that doll looks like who's the guy that
It
sings
does
Holy
look like
Diver?
something, right? It does look like somebody.
Who's the guy that sang Holy Diver?
Dio.
Oh,
Holy shit.
yeah. Good job, Zeus.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
It does. It
It
totally
does. It does. It does. It does.
Looks just
It
like
does.
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. Bang.
And then, main event, even though Cage lost to Mil Muertes last week, he's still got a title shot because he's pissing off Penta.
Oh, hold on. Wasn't there like a little battle royal?
Oh, yes, there was.
Yes. Impromptu, because
Impromptu battle royal, right? Then Papa Cueto said, "No, there'll only be 6 of you fighting," right?
Yep.
And so the
Yep,
winner got
because-
to choose who doesn't make it, right?
Right, and I was Mac because, and then I was Mac, and then he said the famous line,
Bill, you scared the shit out of me.
So you're out.
You're out.
You're out.
That was and boy, was that pissed off Katrina.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
not
my
happy.
God.
She was not happy.
She's not happy because that means that she needs more power for something, because she
hasn't been happy with Mil for a while now. So I think I think something's going to blow over big time with that.
We are heading for a breakup, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Of
don't
immense
think
proportions.
so. I don't.
No?
I don't think so,
No.
because they've got that really twisted codependent relationship, and I think that
Cloak and Dagger.
even more so.
Mm.
Because there's definitely love, hate, and a lot of things going on between those two, but I don't think that we're going to be seeing them apart unless one of them dies.
Yeah.
And Mill has about 995 more to go.
Yeah, something like that. He's up there.
So
Mm-hmm. Oh, this Modelo's good. Zeus, I'm coming to your house to grab some more.
down to 3.5 pallets.
Shit, I better hurry up.
You're gonna have to hit Papa Cueto up for another truck.
Yeah, man, please.
Oh, and El Jefe Papa Cueto, he was in very much death metal form today. No, I mean in this episode, excuse me. His voice when he was announcing,
Yeah, his voice went all the,
it'd be like, and here's Mil Muertes.
He was going straight creepy metal there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He was doing it. Mm-hmm.
That's another thing too. Is like, did Son of Havoc eliminating himself to help?
I thought that was perfect.
It was, but does that piss off Killshot even more?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it should.
So.
And it should.
That story is going to be awesome when it blows up.
Especially,
like we've mentioned it before, when Dante Fox.
I was just about to say that, Pedro. All we need is Dante Fox to show his face and beat the shit out of Killshot. That's all we need to see.
Or beat the hell out of the Mac and
Havoc. True. Yeah,
they were brothers.
That is true.
They were brothers in arms, so that he's got a closer connection overall.
And possibly a new 2-man trios championship. Who knows?
Something's popping in my head. There's a good a moment for either Killshot or Dante Fox or both of them to come back and make their feelings known next week during the Gift of the Gods title match.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
And you know Mil Muertes is going to mess with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, as he should. He's going to go after Mac for eliminating him.
Oh, hey, here's another twist into all that. What about Desmond with Dante Fox and Killshot?
Oh,
I didn't even think of that, Zeus. It was so I did not even think of that, and you know what? That makes perfect sense.
That's a definite possibility.
That's a possibility too. That's a possibility. You know what? You know what? Yep. You know, they have the newcomer who's uncorrupt, who's who actually not affiliated with Havoc or with Mac. You know, that's it. Done deal.
what
Yeah.
if Desmond X
Yeah.
is also like ex-military?
It could,
Possible?
yeah, it's possible. There could be a lot of ways you can go with this. It's definitely a lot of ways you can go with this story. A lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
So we shall see. And then there was the main event, as Zeus was saying earlier.
Yes. Pentagon Dark in the cage.
The man
Machine.
who's a machine.
Pentagon kind of dominated the match.
I was surprised. I thought it was a good match. Number one, he dominated the match. Number two, all the believers were into it. Number three, and number four, they're putting Penta over everybody.
Yeah.
Over everybody. And all clean pinfalls. Everything clean. Everything.
That Pentagon, that package pile driver.
Not one, but two.
So good.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it looked like it just jammed Cage right into the ground. I mean,
Cage is a big bastard too, and he got him up not once but twice, and it looked pretty, man. It looked pretty.
It did. It looked like it really hurt. I mean,
I was like, ouch. I was like, damn.
Oh, I love the two Code Reds. Like
Those are good too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but I thought the match was good. I thought they told a good story. I like it when he tried to break Cage's arm at the end, but didn't work.
Yeah, that was kind of like the Terminator getting switched on.
Yeah. It was like, I told you, I'm a machine. And I was like, here we go. It's a way to get them both over too. So, but I love the way that Penta is having clean pinfalls over everybody. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
That's the great thing. He has a great finisher.
Yeah, he does. And it's showing that he is the Lucha Underground champion. So it's viable that he gets these pinfalls over everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, it really works out well because, sometimes some finishers, it kind of takes, they're not always perfect.
No.
And sometimes you can kind of miss, especially like Johnny Mundo's End of the World. Sometimes he doesn't quite land.
Doesn't quite nail it cleanly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think he doesn't realize. I think he could probably put somebody almost in the middle of the ring and still hit that.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He can.
And I think he ends up putting people a little too close sometimes.
Yeah. But I think he would seriously do some damage if you put somebody in the middle of the ring and did that. I think it's you can easily crack a rib doing that,
So, but I'm just saying, sometimes he doesn't quite get all of it. So that's
right.
And it's just prime example. It's the Undersnaker was able to kick out at 2.
At 2, yeah,
2 3/4.
It was a good episode of LU. I like the vignette. I thought it was the best thing about the whole entire episode. I love the storyline. And the whole thing with the Gift of the Gods.
Story's great. Match is great.
Yeah, everything was good. Everything was pretty good.
It's definitely an A+.
It was good. A plus is a little bit too strong. I say A. I say A. I like last week's episode a little bit better. I
Oh
do.
my goodness.
I personally like last week's a little better. I do.
Nothing wrong with
I
that.
mean, you know, you had the man coming out of the crowd, and here comes Penta out of the crowd, swinging the chair. That was awesome in itself, right there. So,
Well, especially because Penta was obviously disguised as our good friend by Lucha.
he was by Lucha.
By Lucha.
I was like, wait a minute, is that by Lucha or Pentagon? Or are they one and the same?
That would
You
be
know?
really weird.
Yeah, that would be. But it was a good episode. It was a good episode. All right, Mr. Zeus, since actually, since Horsemen thrive in your hometown, over in the Carolinas, I'll let you take the floor. The Four Horsemen. Let's get into it, baby. Let's go.
Well, of course, you go back and you look at the beginnings of the Horsemen, and those guys were just kind of all ended up in the studios and at the house shows at the same place, same time. And because the formation of it all began when Arn Anderson came to Georgia. And Ole Anderson and Thunderbolt Patterson were the national tag team champions.
Right.
And so
that's when they started the Ole Anderson's cousin gimmick, right? Yeah.
Right. And then that's when Ole chose Arn over Thunderbolt.
Right. That's how that whole thing started with them. Right.
Exactly. That's how it all started there, because at that time, Flair's still a face.
Yes.
Flair's still a face.
Now, hold on. Now,
yes, because he's facing Nikita Koloff.
Right. I was just about to ask you that. I think it was either before. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's facing Nikita Koloff. And he's defending America, and the Russians are trying to take over the world, trying to take all the titles.
Oh shit! Sounds like now. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They had the World Six Man. They had the World Tag Team. They wanted, and that was the crazy thing, is like they invoked that Freebird rule, saying that any two of them could defend the World Tag Team titles, since they were the six-man champions as well. And they were also saying that if they won the world title, that any three of them could defend the world heavyweight title. So it was like this huge thing that had never been approached before, that they were trying to introduce that to the world. So, Flair, was taking them on, but, then Tully starts cutting promos and things with the Andersons. And then we see them.
That was before Baby Doll, right?
No, that was with Baby Doll.
Okay.
Because JJ wasn't in the picture yet.
Right. Gotcha.
JJ was he was managing various guys like Ron Bart, Ron Bass, Black Bart.
Ron Bass, yeah.
So he had his own stable of guys, and then eventually he came on with Tully Blanchard, and then they all kind of started associating together, and then that they kept teaming together, and then that fateful day, Arn Anderson says, there hasn't been destruction seen in the world like this since the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
There it goes.
And so began the history of the Horsemen.
Ole and Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, and Tully Blanchard. Those were the Four Horsemen. I like that four right there. I do like that four. Now, before we actually went on the air, as Zeus and I were having a little discussion, okay? I did not like.
Wait a minute. Before we get there, let's get there through a little time, because.
Okay, go ahead.
So Ole he's regressing a little bit, becoming a a more loving father wanting to see his son compete in high school. You know, he wanted more time away from the guys. And as we found out later, too, is, you know, he being part of that older generation, he you know, was getting left behind because he wasn't into fast women. He wasn't into all the partying.
Yeah.
He didn't like the idea.
That was when he was still booking or no?
No, I don't think he was. But he was, you know, he didn't like the Four Horsemen idea. And he wasn't the kind of guy that went out with them and partied and all that with them. So then along came Lex Luger from Florida.
Oh, my God. Yeah, go ahead.
Right?
Lex Luger sucks.
Right. Luger, $1 million body,
10-cent
$100,000 smile, ego as big as anybody. Like you said, substandard ring ability.
That's being nice.
They all thought that they could help polish him.
Right.
You know,
he was supposed to be Bill Hogan.
He was a football player. I mean, he played in the Canadian Football League. He played at University of Miami.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're really taking a football player and trying to make him into a wrestler, which, you know, historically is a really hard thing to do.
It's been done, but it's been rare.
Yeah, it is. And so, of course, you know, Luger, his ego continues to grow even around all the rest of those guys. And then the Bunkhouse Stampede, he refuses to let J.J. Dillon win it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so they whooped his ass and they kicked him out of the Horsemen. And then Barry Windham starts reluctantly coming to Luger's rescue. They form the Twin Towers, go on to beat Tully and Arn for the World Tag Team titles at the first Clash of Champions in the mighty Greensboro Coliseum
on
1988. Then a few short weeks later, you know, the Horsemen are, you know, they're still looking for their fourth member. They keep telling Barry, Lex is going to let you down.
He was an associate or something like that.
He's not going to be there for you when you need him. And in that rematch, Barry got tired of his shit and picked him up by his chin and socked him right in the mouth and tagged him in. Then he hit him with the lariat and left him laying in the middle of the ring. And
that was
what
great
was
stuff.
Really funny. What was really funny is Tully and Arn were shocked. They were like looking at each other. JJ knew what the deal was.
Yeah.
Ric Flair knew what the deal was. They didn't tell Tully and Arn.
That's awesome.
And they pinned Luger and won the titles back.
Man,
so
these are great memories, by the way. These are good times in wrestling.
Oh yeah, and then Barry Windham becomes a member of the Four Horsemen, which I know a lot of people like. Angie loves Barry Windham. I know Zeus, you love Barry Windham. I know a lot of people love Barry Windham. I thought Barry Windham with the Four Horsemen was a mistake, and here's why. I did not like it personally. I love Barry Windham, but I thought he was the one viable opponent for the Horsemen. He was the one guy who could legitimately challenge Flair and the Horsemen and beat the shit out of them, and it'll look real. It looked like he's the one guy who can get away with beating the crap out of the Horsemen, and you know, like all of us would buy it. But then they make him a member, and I'm like, are you shitting me? Okay, so who's gonna fight the Horsemen now? Who? Here comes Sting. Here comes this. Here comes that. I'm like, nah, because everybody was watching Barry Windham beat the shit out of Flair. And now all of a sudden, he's on Flair's team, and he's the Western Heritage Championship, or that bullshit title, whatever the hell that was. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's a member of the Horsemen? Barry Windham? No. That's why I didn't like him as a Horseman. I wanted him to beat the Horsemen. I didn't want him to be a part of the Horsemen. And I was a huge Ric Flair Horseman mark. But I thought he was the perfect opponent for the Horsemen.
Right, and here's the thing, too, and here's what happens.
Because not Lex Luger, because Luger absolutely sucks.
Right. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Now, you trace back these Barry Windham steps, okay, and where it's not just Lex Luger that let him down. It was the entire National Wrestling Alliance, especially the man who was like his second father, Dusty Rhodes.
I give you that, Zeus. I give you that.
Okay.
I know. He was being groomed to be the champ, and then they yanked it from him. I get it.
And Dusty underpaid him. Dusty sent him around in shitty rental cars. Barry's eating bologna sandwiches after he 90-minute main events Flair in a packed 16,000-seat arena 3 times a week. Goes to TV tapings across North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. He's all over the world. He's all over America. And he's eating
after he just came back from WWF and the big push.
Right. Yeah. And he's eating cat food and everybody else is getting rich. And he sees it. He sees other people. He sees the horsemen on their private jets. He sees all this stuff going on. Okay? And he sees Dusty's eating well. Dusty's not starving.
Okay? That's an understatement.
But so this resentment starts to build. And then, it's like Barry has to remember, Dusty's not my dad. Blackjack Mulligan is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was a badass.
Yeah. Hence Barry Windham was a badass. Hence why he was the perfect opponent for the Horseman, not to be a Horseman.
But who was one of Ric Flair's best friends from the 70s when Barry was a kid? Blackjack Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
So Rick spent a lot of time with Blackjack and young Barry. So all of this stuff builds up. And that's why Barry joined the Horsemen, because he was tired of being what everybody else wanted him to be. And he had to look out for himself. And he had to surround himself with guys that were going to help him become financially well off, successful as a wrestler and as a business person. And so it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because you had these bodybuilder guys, because let's be honest, until that first Clash of Champions, Sting didn't have great ability. He had the potential.
He had the potential.
For Flair.
Yeah, Flair took him 60 minutes and made him a star. Yeah.
45, because Sting was scared to go 60 minutes with Flair. He didn't think he could make it. And we know Barry's done double that.
Yeah, he done that. Oh,
Barry left Ric Flair. Barry walked out like he just, run a half marathon. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. He take that world heavyweight title and he drop it on Flair, who was laying out.
Unlike Luger, who'll be all blown up within the first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, 30 seconds in, he's got
That guy absolutely. I saw a tag team match with him and Arn Anderson once live. Arn Anderson went 18 minutes in the ring, and Luger comes in for 2 seconds, gets the pin and leaves. I threw up in my mouth. I said, "This is not Horseman material." Okay, Lex Luger absolutely sucks, and you can tell him I said so. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And he had that lazy power slam too.
That was disgusting.
That lazy half-ass power slam.
You would think after hanging around Goldust, okay, all right, you could have learned the power slam from Dustin Runnels, okay? He knows how to do a power slam, okay? Lex Luger, who, again, one of the worst names in history, okay? Oh, my God. Lex Luger, okay? He couldn't do a power slam. He couldn't do an arm drag. He could barely take a back body drop bump. It was horrible. Horrible. My mother threw a better elbow. Get the hell out of here. You know what? Get out of the ring. You suck. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
But even worse, though, was, the progression, really, after Tully and Arn left, and the Horsemen were never able to recover.
That's when they were doing the brainbuster gimmick, right?
Yeah, and then, there was talk of reforming the Horsemen in WWF.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, but what happened is Flair wanted, because they were like, well, we got Ricky Steamboat coming back, and he wanted to do one more program with Steamboat,
right?
And that probably saved the company for another year.
Yeah, but those are some of the best matches I've ever seen. Yeah,
but I mean, if Flair had gone when he did, and they'd all linked up with Bobby Heenan. I mean, can you imagine if Flair had won the world title and Barry Windham had won the Intercontinental title and Tully Arnold?
That would have been kind of awesome. That actually would have been awesome.
That would have been. I mean, if they'd have run roughshod over two federations, that would have been, just completely, earth shattering.
And
that's the only thing that could have added to their legend.
Well, let me ask you something, Zeus. I want to jump ahead for a few, okay? I need to ask you. Well, what the hell was WCW thinking when they made Paul Roma a horseman?
Oh man, there's so many stupid ideas that they put into action. Definitely Paul Roma.
I'd rather see Steve McMichael as a horseman any day over Paul Roma. He was like the second coming of Luger.
I'd rather see Jim Powers than
oh my
Paul
God,
Roma.
brutal. The powers of pain. Yeah.
I mean, Jim. What was that tag team called? Jim Powers and Paul Roma.
Young Stallions?
Yeah, Young Stallions. There you go. Yeah, Young Stallions. Good job, Pedro. There you go.
We couldn't have Young Stallions in WCW because we already had the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
And he was the spaghetti eating champion.
Yeah. Oh, please. But who booked this shit? Who said Paul Roma, Four Horsemen? I mean, it just delegitimized everything, and then they made a big deal about it.
It's like every time they take a movie and they try to make it for more for kids, like Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Like, we need to inject a small child into this story.
I love when Benoit and Dean Malenko were horsemen.
So
I like that. Yeah, true. Yeah, Zeus, true. I even love when Benoit and I even love Dean Malenko as a horseman. I love Brian Pillman as a horseman. It was awesome. But I was like, what's going on? And then they got them jobbing to Dungeon of Doom, and it was just hard. I was like, are you kidding me?
Kevin Sullivan was really a terrible.
Who booked this shit? I mean, come on.
I mean, when you run out and it's like you make that your biggest faction. It's like God. I mean, people say Dusty put himself over a lot. I'm like, man, Kevin Sullivan was a decade away from being good, putting himself and his terrible friends over.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan when Sting was a horseman. Okay, fine, I get it, but fine. But
he was only a horseman for 5 minutes, if you ask.
Yeah, exactly. But but I started watching when in WCW and horsemen were like they were pushing the mid-card status, and the Dungeon of Doom was running roughshod and beating the crap out of. I mean, Flair was left in the middle of the ring. Arn Anderson was left holding his arm. It was disgusting. I was like, are we seeing the dismantle? I mean, come on. These were the backbone of your company for like 20 years. And come on. It's like crap now. It's shit.
Yeah. And that was another problem is that where, you didn't have the right people. You had, people like Jim Herd and, all these.
If I want pizza, I go to Jim Herd. Okay, no,
if you want KFC, you go to Jim Herd. That's what.
Yeah.
Or Kip Fry, or all these other.
It's a Pizza Hut, right? Yeah.
But I mean, Sid Vicious was a terrible horseman.
Oh my God! I didn't even want to get into that one.
We tried to put that out of our memories, Zeus.
But that's
Zeus, you're gonna give me another heart attack.
That's why I made the Four Fairies sign.
Yeah, he was one of the. He had to be one of the. But hey, Zeus, you're crazy. I would have ran from him.
He was terrible.
I'm not getting stabbed in the neck with no scissors. Come on.
Oh my God.
That's the great thing though is that Sid doesn't ever show up to anything anymore. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
he doesn't show.
He's too busy trying to play softball.
I don't think he shows up for that either.
Really brutal. But
The empty batting cage with balls flying by, nothing.
But you had this this built-in instant cash cow with the Four Horsemen, and you just sticking people in there just for just for the sake of sticking people in there. I mean, the whole thing started with. I mean, I'm sorry.
Not bringing Tully back was stupid.
Well, that was that whole thing, and okay, I'm gonna say something about that because he failed a cocaine test. Are you shitting
Marijuana.
me? Okay. Oh, even worse, marijuana. Yeah. Are you shitting me? Fucking 3/4 of that locker room, God knows, what the hell they were on. I mean,
well,
come on, man.
Not to mention that a couple of years before that, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik got pulled over.
Hello. Yeah, exactly.
In the same car, smoking weed together, driving from one car to another. It's like, excuse me, if that's not, if you don't have Mr. USA Ho and Mr. Iran, if they don't hate each other, then why are they traveling together and smoking weed together?
I thought that was such a bullshit excuse, a failed drug test. I was like, wow, really? In professional wrestling back in the 80s and come on, in 80s and 90s, a failed drug test? Everybody was either warded up.
In the drug test was in WWF. It wasn't in WCW.
CW, yeah, exactly.
I mean, but they tried to use it as an excuse to lowball Tully, which was another stupid idea. It's like, oh, well, he'll stay because he doesn't, he can't do anything else. He doesn't have anywhere else to go. It's like, well, guess what,
Horrible mismanagement of a company and of an angle. Horrible mismanagement.
Was it Fluzemaker's in the chat? He said the booking logic. This guy ain't over what to do. Sprinkle some Horseman magic on him. That'll work. Except it didn't.
Fluz! I apologize for getting your name all mixed up. My bad.
Pedro?
Yes.
Horseman memories?
The only Horseman variation I saw live, and I saw them twice, was the last one, I think, was Benoit, Malenko, Mongo, and Flair, with Arn as the manager. And one of the worst shows I ever saw live was this, WCW Nitro from the Astrodome in December '98, and Benoit and Malenko were supposed to fight Raven and who's that guy?
Sick Boy?
Canyon.
Who's better than Canyon?
Yeah, who better than Canyon?
AKA Mortis.
And the match doesn't happen because Raven won't go out there, so Canyon goes out there and says some stuff like, Raven won't fight me or won't fight with me, so I'm not gonna fight you guys. And he's insulting them and stuff, and then he kept calling Arn an old man, and then Arn makes him get in the ring and he gets beat up, and then Flair comes out and they do an interview segment where he's hyping up his match with Eric Bischoff with Starrcade in '98.
That was some terrible. That was a terrible year.
Horrible.
That was not good. But
that sounds brutal.
In March of '99, there's a house show here in town, and Flair, Malenko, and Benoit fought Barry Windham. I want to say Kurt Hennig and someone else. I don't
remember. Kurt Hennig a Horseman?
Might have been Bobby Duncombe Jr.
Bobby Duncombe, yeah. Rap is crap, right?
Rap is crap. Pedro, you got to tell that little story about rap is crap.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Pedro, yeah, go ahead, man. You got to say that.
Okay, so we were talking about this during the week privately, but in Texas, the song, the Rap is Crap, was huge. It was a massive radio hit here in Texas. And my girlfriend, Stephanie, She when I told her, years later, I told her that, that song was from wrestling. She was like, "What? No, it was just some song." And I was like, "No, it was from wrestling." And I was showing her that it was from wrestling. She couldn't believe it. But yeah, in Texas, it was like just a legit radio hit. It was, you could hear it. You could go to
Rap
the
is
grocery
crap.
store, and yeah, rap is crap would be playing.
I hate rap. Yeah.
I love country music.
Oh my god.
That was so funny because they paid Master P a lot of money to be at those events. And
I hope so. I hope so.
nobody really did.
I mean, you have to pay me a shitload of money too to be doing that. I'm like, really? Brutal. That and RoboCop and God knows who else was there.
No, wait a minute. We're talking about a completely different administration that did RoboCop. Okay?
I know, but still, it was horrible.
We'll have to get into it on another episode.
Yeah.
But of course, one of the big staples of the end of the Horseman era was the feud with the NWO.
Yes.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And
That could have been really big, but it was extinguished very fast.
Well, I mean, it was over. I mean, basically over a tour, over 2 years, they were going at it, and maybe we can have that. I can touch on that on another show because, we had Fall Brawl '96, Sting and Luger teamed with Arn and Rick in the War Games. And that's where Sting walked out.
Yeah.
And then Slamboree '97, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and Kevin Green against Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Six.
Kevin Green. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then Fall Brawl '97 was another Four Horsemen against NWO. So we'll talk on that. We'll talk on
It
that.
lasted 2 years for real. I could have sworn that thing lasted 5 minutes.
No, it was way too long because like I said, I'll tell you about it from the sixth row and stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Kurt Hennig plays into this angle too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt Hennig.
Is that when he slammed the cage on Flair's head?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
I was 10 feet away from that.
Really?
What?
Oh, come on. That's
We
awesome.
gotta hear this in the
We got to
future.
hear that. Come on, in the future, yes.
But,
This
I mean,
whole-
because I mean that whole because the whole thing was the whole night was
we got to drink a lot more Modelo's and keep telling those stories. Yes.
That's right. And we're like I said, we're gonna push for time here.
I gotta,
we'll have to
I gotta
get-
drive to Zeus's house.
We'll have to get to this in the future, but not next week.
No, not next week. What's next week, Pedro?
Yeah,
Next
please tell
week,
us.
we're doing our first
Mhm.
non-wrestling
Oh yeah,
specific episode. We're going to talk about Godzilla.
the Kaiju clique invades Markout Mania, baby. Oh yeah.
We may have a special guest joining us. I'm not going to say who it is yet. To keep it.
We have a kaiju expert.
Yes.
Is it Rodan?
No.
Who know? We'll have to
It is-
wait.
It's the next best thing to having Mothra herself.
Can it be?
It could be.
We'll have to find
Can
out
it be?
next
Let's not
week.
jinx it.
Let's
Yeah,
not
don't
jinx
jinx
it.
Don't
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, that's next week. For this week, I want to thank YYH and Flues for being in the chat. I want to thank. I was just gonna say, want to thank the Way Too Real crew, the MMM Show crew,
Absolutely.
everyone following us on Twitter and so forth. All
Everybody
the beans.
listening, everybody in the chat, everybody listening. Thank you, and thanks
Thank you,
again.
everybody.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
Bean!
Hey, Bean just got here.
Bean has just made an appearance here at the end.
What is up, Bean?
Bean, hola. But
it should be fun next week.
Bean's been knocking out some great artwork lately too.
yes,
Yeah,
Bean
he's
has
been
been
killing it.
But yeah, till next week, everyone.
Till
Everyone
next
have
week,
a
rap
great
is
week
crap.
and weekend.
Rap is crap.
I love country music. Now, we should totally play that to go off the air, but no.
Now that's just gonna be stuck in my head all day. You know that, right?
That's
Good. That's what you get for shitting on Barry Windham.
Oh, I wasn't shitting on Wyndham, man. I wasn't shitting on Wyndham, Zeus. I know that's your boy, but I just wanted him. I just wanted him to beat up the Horsemen. I didn't want him to join the Horsemen.
Oh my God!
That was a cheap way to get out of it. That sucked. I hated that. Yeah.
Adios.
See you.